Hello, what is up? My name is Mike and welcome to Radical Academy. In this video, we'll be looking at matrices. So we'll go from the introductory part to the conceptual understanding of what a matrix is, as well as also some of the key concepts and fundamentals that you need to know about matrices. Okay, so if you're new for you're watching for the first time to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share to others, your friends, your classmates, and whoever is interested in this video. Okay, so we will start by what is a matrix. From there we'll look at also addition, subtraction, as well as also multiplication of our matrices, and then from there we'll look at the determinant as well as the inverse of the matrix, and then that will now conclude the whole topic about matrices. So just stick around and follow and watch so that you can understand some of the key concepts and fundamentals in matrices and be able to solve any past paper that you may come across. Okay, so now we want to start by defining what is a matrix. Okay, now a matrix Okay, so now when you are talking about a matrix, we are simply saying that a matrix is simply a rectangular array of elements slash entities. Okay, so we are more like saying that a matrix is more like a storage of elements, okay, or entities. Okay, just similarly with what you already know about sets. Okay, mathematical set, when you talk about a set, and then that can be represented using a Venn diagram, you discover that when you draw a circle and then you put in some of the elements or the entities that define that particular set. For instance, okay, so for instance here you see that I've got two sets A, B, that are able to interact, and then you can see that at the middle there is an interaction. Maybe we can have that, we can have also that. Okay, so this is similar to the definition of the sets that we have talked about. Okay, so we are saying that a matrix is a rectangular array, or just a rectangular something more like a storage. Okay, and then in this kind of a storage we have now individual components or individual elements that define that particular matrix. Okay, so now I hope that definition is so clear, so that we can move on to how we can add matrices and how we can also subtract matrices. Okay. Okay, so now in this section we'll look at addition as well as subtraction of matrices. So now one thing that I want you to understand is that matrices are just storages of elements in which you can put in something. Okay, and we can try to come up with the summation of two matrices, or rather the difference between the two matrices that you can come across, or the two matrices that we are going to see just in a minute. Okay, now before you begin now to understand how you can add or subtract matrices, there is a concept we call the order of matrices. Okay, the order of matrices is very cardinal. Okay, before I can subtract, add the two matrices, I have to define or to identify what is the order of the matrix that I'm given, so that is it possible for me to add the two matrices or to subtract the two matrices, and then we just come up with the final answer. Okay, so now let's dive into that part of addition and subtraction of the matrices. Okay, so what we're saying is that you can only subtract, add two matrices that have got the same order. Okay, so you cannot subtract matrices that have different orders. Okay, by orders, what we mean is that okay, so when you want to understand what is the order of a matrix, we are just simply talking about how many rows are defined by that matrix, or how many elements, okay, I mean how many elements are making up the columns within matrices, how many of those elements are making up the rows within that matrices. Okay, Okay, so what we're saying is that before you add the two matrices as well as subtract them, then I have to figure out how many elements are in the row as well as how many elements are in the column. Okay, so it's kind of just a matter of counting how many rows you have in the matrix as well as how many columns you have in that same matrix, and then just say that maybe I have 2 by 4, or maybe 2 by 2, and just like that you're done now, just identifying the order of that matrices. Okay, so now let's see how you can determine the order of a certain matrix. Okay,